Take a look in my game face. Ain't no stopping me. You know I'm coming in first place. Won't stop until I get that ring. I'ma dominate all day. No matter who you bring, I will not lose.
Yeah.
I will not lose.
I will not.
What up? It's your boy, JJ Stone, a.k.a. Black Gritty, and I apologize if my voice is raspy. I was sick as a dog for like 10 days, but I'm back semi-okay in life. I got some Seagram's ginger ale, not gin, and I'm going to try and power through it. Emotional week for everybody, a hard time in the city, but also happy time in the city. And I got my boy E-Rocky here with me, so we can he got somebody keep me in check. All right, this is a safe space. This is family. This is a safe space, and I'm gonna be saying some stuff that might make some people upset. So E's here to make sure everybody that's upset, you're represented. Okay, you are fully represented. Also, my boy Jason, IQC Sports, and my boy Harry Tags. The full family's in here. Black McAfee. You know what I mean? I got the crew with me. You know what I mean? Trying to build out the team. And how you been, E?
I've been good. Listen, man, after the Kelce news yesterday, of course, I felt better before, but definitely feels like this team is kind of turned the page, hasn't it? It's kind of the old guard is moving on, and the new younger squad has now got to step up, and man, they got some damn big shoes to fill.
So Harry, you're the youngest one on the panel. I always like poking that at you. You know, you half your life now. You had a Kelce and he's career. You're 30. I mean, I'm trying to put it on. You're one of the ones that was actually a younger kid when he came on the team. And how you feeling today, Harry? You all right?
I'm 29 first. Let me say that. You know, no need to rush to 30, but
40 year career, half your life. I was right.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, it is interesting because I feel like, you know, he already had the kind of speculation or the report that he retired at during the last game of the season and all that stuff. So it's one of those things where, or last game of the playoffs, it's one of those things where it just hurts more. And not hurts, but it's just sad, man. Like, you don't want to see someone like that not be a part of your life like every single day. Obviously, he still will be because of the New Heights podcast and things like that. But just to have him so ingrained, like, with the sports, obviously he'll still be involved, he'll still be around it. But even today, I saw he's at like the Cavs game getting a, Cavs bobblehead situation with Travis Kelce. So it already feels like he's not as much a part of it. I don't know. I'm just
he belongs to the streets now, bro.
Oh my God. Nah, dude.
You already saw that the Cavs.
Damn. Now his white Kylie though.
I'm gonna get to it, but I'm just saying, my man already in these streets. Jason, how you feeling? You all right? Did you have a couple beer tears last night? What happened?
No, I'm good. I'm selfish. I wanted him to come back, but it was time. His body was going. You saw in that documentary, he was breaking down at times. It was a good thing that he's retiring now, even though selfishly I wanted him back.
So E, go ahead and tell me. I know you said the team's got to move on, but you are someone who is at all the tailgates. You go to a lot of the events. You go to a lot of team events. You bumped uglies with a lot of players a lot of times. So I know that this man.
Pause.
Hey, you know what I'm saying. This man means something to you too. And so just the fact that today is a day where he's bigger than football, and that's what people are going crazy about. All I said was, everybody's like, he needs a statue. I'm like, whoa, can I get Doc a statue first? Like, I know there's an order of things. Like, can I get Doc one? I didn't say Kelce couldn't get one. I just wanted Doc to go first. And everybody's like, he got us a Super Bowl. And I'm like, I've never in my life heard a center getting a Super Bowl. Like, people out here talking like he was Nick Foles today. And that's what he's done to us. Mm-hmm. I said that he is Rocky embodied. All the things that we personify about Rocky Balboa, the heart of the city, fighting through pain, doing what you need to do, realizing who you are. He is that fake figure come to life in a mummer's outfit. Like, they need to take Rocky down, put him in that mummer's outfit up there, and then I dare anybody to come to the city and desecrate that statue, because he embodies everything that we are. And I know that. But I still want to remind you, he's a center. He's a center. Today, somebody said he was my favorite player for 13 years. I'm like, we don't have to lie today. We don't have to lie. He is the embodiment of the Philadephia sports player. not even an equal. I'm putting him above an equal. I'm saying as a Philadelphian who comes here to the city, we rip you apart, we tear you down, we break you down. And at the same time, I would drive to that man's house and take his trash cans to the curb when I saw that documentary. I would literally say, yo, it's Thursdays. I will be there Wednesday night, dog. I won't put my own trash out consistently, but I'll come do that for you. And that's how the city is. So don't give me we gotta turn the page. Give me the how your heart feels. Give me the what it means to you.
I remember when I was doing work for the Eagles, doing on-camera stuff, being at a training camp in Lehigh, and after practice, I was chatting with, the .com team and a couple other people, and they had pulled Jason Kelce aside, and it was him, it was his agent, it was Howard Mudd, and it was Andy Reid, and they were all kind of off in the distance. The crowd had left, and I forget who it is that said it to me, but they go, "You see that guy right there? Yeah. That's the future of the Eagles offensive line." And at the time, when the drafts happen, you don't know everybody by sight. You don't know everybody's face. You aren't familiar with the Jason Kelce like we're familiar with the Jason Kelce now. But I looked at him and I went, "Who the F is that?" And they go, that's Jason Kelce. I said, "Who the F is Jason Kelce?" "Oh, he was a 6th-round pick this year." "You mean to tell me a 6th-round pick? He looks tiny." I remember saying that. He looks tiny. And then lo and behold, all of these years later, we're celebrating one of the most iconic Philadelphia sports figures. Forget Philadelphia Eagles, in the entire city. One of the most iconic sports figures in all of Philadelphia sports history. And it's not only because, like you mentioned, Brian Dawkins. First of all, I figured I'd let you go early on and start spouting because it only took 3 minutes to get into your foolishness as you started up. But Brian Dawkins embodied what we wanted in a player: toughness, grit, leave it out all on the field, leader in the locker room, taking accountability, taking responsibility, hated to lose, all those things. He embodied what we wanted in a Philadelphia player. But the Jason Kelce thing took it to another level because we identified with him. He was an underdog, 6th-round pick that nobody believed in, was told he's too small, and simply just worked his ass off. But not only that, Doc connected with the community, but not to the level that a Jason Kelce being down in Sea Isle, having beer-chugging competition, signing babies on the playground, letting them paint up his beard. There was a connection between Jason Kelce and the city of Philadelphia that we love Doc, but he didn't have that kind of connection. And Doc left, not on his own accord, but when Doc left, he went to Denver and he never came home. Jason Kelce will remain home. We have Kylie to thank for that because she's a Delco girl and she's not going anywhere, and they'll still be down in Sea Isle in the summer. But Jason, it was bittersweet watching him go, but knowing yeah, my best friend moved, but he moved to the next school district over. I'm still going to see him. You know what I mean? Because he's still going to be around. He's still going to be connected with the organization. He's still going to be living in the community and connecting with the community. It's different. There's layers to this, and he's on a different layer.
So, again, I fully understand what you're saying, and that's why I wanted you or anybody else to say it. And my basic point is that Dawkins left, but there was a whole mix-up, and he should have never left. He should have been here the whole time. He should have had the opportunity to retire here. It's not like he wanted to leave. And I won't say he was pushed out, but he wasn't held close to the breast. And that mistake has had them autocorrect hardcore. We kept the lineman. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Jason Peters.
We kept Peters a little bit longer than we would have because we're like, look, we can't let him go. And it was at the point where like, bro, you're 90. Like, we got to do something. And then, Fletcher gets to stay here and Brandon Graham is going to get to stay here. So they've made that correction with the guys that are the core guys that can still provide some kind of value in leadership and things like that. And I know what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. He's more than just a center. He's an icon of a person and a human being because of the friendship. And I don't want to speak badly about it, but my point is that Jason, you remember because we talked about this back when they were talking about trading him. Mm-hmm. We were saying, what can we get for him? We're talking about this, that, and my basic point was like, well, even if he's not a starter right now, you just keep him because you don't get rid of linemen if you're not going to get anything for him. He could be a backup if he's not performing well. He knows the system. it didn't matter which way it went, but he almost left. And to his greatness in his speech, the love of a good woman, a coach believing in you. Why you got that love? I put everything on this woman. This is the princess of Philadelphia. This is the queen of Philadelphia. He found this woman. He went and talked to the coach. He's like, look, I can't. This woman ain't going nowhere. If I can't leave, coach, tell me what I got to do to get better, and I'll do it. And I believe that's how it went down. I don't know. I heard the speech, but I'm thinking that's how it went down. My man fell in love and said, I'll do whatever I got to do. Turned his whole career around. Not that he was terrible, but he became legendary. And then the day he gave that speech, I don't care what. I ask people all the time, what's your favorite Jason Kelce play? You can't tell me one. You don't know. But people who don't know Philadelphia, people who don't know sports, you've watched 4 championships a year for the last 30 years. I know people that don't give a fuck about Philadelphia, but they can tell me that guy in the Mummers Parade was like, it was Hungry Dogs. And they'll quote things from Jason Kelce. They can't quote their own champions that said something at a parade, but people know his speech. That was the moment where it was like, okay, you're Philadelphia now. You're not even an Eagle no more. That's what I said. Above the Eagles, above everything. He became a Philadelphian. Like, bro, you must have been born and bred here, and then you got the wife, and your wife ain't wearing nothing but green. And everything you just said is my point of he just became so much bigger than the athlete, and he is the everyday man. He is the guy that has a beer with you. He is the kissing the babies and signing babies. He is the give somebody a hug and give the shirt off their back and the joy. He's John Madden. He's John Madden. Like, just someone that, like, every story you hear about him, it's just like, man, did he ever have a bad day? You don't hear any story about him brushing somebody off or not taking time or doing all those things. So I hear you, Ian. I know it's different than Dawkins. My point is that greatness is greatness. And if we're going to give statues out, there's some other statues I got to get done first, or at least at the same time. You know what I mean? Or give me a Wolverine statue and the Mummer statue. And we can just rock it out. But I'm just trying to. Am I crazy, Harry? Is what I'm saying makes sense?
It makes
I know that he's bigger than the sport. I get that.
I mean, I loved your point about honestly, the Mummers outfit version of Jason Kelce, that statue, like replacing Rocky or being at the Art Museum, was something that I thought about recently too, and I think that would be really, really cool and definitely something you cannot desecrate. I agree with you. I saw you tweet that earlier about got to get Dawkins or these other guys. I totally agree with that. The statues
right now, we don't have any for the Eagles, right? You don't
Besides, the Philly.
That was even by the beer company, so that's not like a legit thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, my thing is just that, like E-Rock said, I mean, Dawkins, not his fault, but there's something about just him going away, which is why you hate it when a guy goes away, right? It's not because like you blame him, but you just know that there's something about it. Like Dwayne Wade is my favorite basketball player of all time, and just something about him going to these other teams, right? Even though he retired with the Heat, there's something weird about it, right? He should have never left. So with Dawkins, that's part of it, but also, like E-Rock said, Dawkins is like this larger than life sort of superhero, Weapon X, right? Kelce is like one of us, you know what I mean? one of us. Like, he's really our friend, like our family member, it feels like, with, obviously Kylie being a huge part of that. So like you said, he's bigger than being a center. He's still local. Super Bowl. I mean, you can say what you want about remembering specific plays, but I will have the vision of him rolling out from center and blocking downfield, whatever play you want to pick, in my mind forever. For his unique talents. So for me, it's not about, yes, I want there to be assurances that we get some other statues at least. I don't want to just get Kelce without nothing because B-Dog needs it, but I do want Kelce ASAP.
Jason, what was your favorite Kelce play?
My favorite Kelce play, I told you yesterday, it's that fold block he had against the Giants where he took out 2 of those guys coming around the left side.
And it's funny because as soon as you said it, I knew exactly what play you were talking about. And you asked me what my favorite play was. My favorite play was the Washington Redskins game, the first screen pass where he blocked 3 dudes and was running stride for stride down the field. And then
safety.
Yeah, like half hour later, Iman put that play out and was like, that was like, I know that he has plays. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? E, I know what you're saying, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. But I think you're kind of comparing like 2 different. It's like, well, who is a more beloved Eagle, Brian Dawkins or?
I'm not even trying to do that. I'm just saying that when we're in this hyper moment of he needs a statue. I say, cool. These other things need statues too. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't give him one. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve one. I'm just saying that Allen Iverson's about to get a statue. Okay. He hasn't played here for 15, 20 years. He's been in the Hall of Fame for 5. He walked down the line, and it's Wilt, it's Charles Barkley who left, it's Julius Erving who was in the ABA before he became like. There's a whole bunch of things that the Sixers have done right with their statues, and now he walks down the line and he gets to say, "Who's this one in front of the practice facility of all things?" We talking about practice, yeah, ironically, and so he's going to earn and deserve that place in succession, in order. And I want the Eagles. My real thing is I just want Eagles to start putting out the bus. I want something. I want them Mount Rushmore. I need something. So I just want to get them in order. I don't want to start from the back end to the front. That's all. And again, that's why I got you here, E, so you can reel me back in, because I love Jason Kelce. I love everything about Jason Kelce.
Yeah, I think you're too hung up on the statue thing. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a statue of Brian. We don't see a Brian or a statue of either one of them, to be honest with you. Maybe the statue thing's a little overblown. Maybe the statue thing's not where we want to be. And furthermore, as we kind of turn this page, also know that we're turning a chapter. This is just a chapter ending in the story of Jason Kelce. I'm glad you brought up John Madden. I tweeted this weeks ago. I honestly do think that Jason Kelce has the opportunity in front of him to be the biggest post-on-field media personality for the NFL since John Madden. Because John was just uniquely John. And boom, I'm going to write on the demonstrator. So look at this guy, Brett Favre, and a turducken.
You want a turducken?
Yeah. And Jason Kelce is so authentically Jason Kelce. There are networks that are going to be backing up to his house with a dump truck of money, pulling the lever and just letting it go, hoping that they have the chance to sign him to their network. Because this guy is a football lifer, and he's not going anywhere. He's going to be in the media. He's going to be one of us. We're going to be able to look at the TV screen every Sunday or during the week and say, hey, that was our guy. That's still our guy. And he's still going to be a Philadelphia Eagle. By the way, to all those guys listening and watching this right now, do yourself a favor. If you learn anything from this podcast today, find yourself a Kylie. I think we can all agree on that. Find yourself. If you're lucky in this life, you will find yourself a Kylie.
So you said that. Let me bring it back to you.
I have to say I found one because she's listening.
Oh yeah,
I'm still looking.
That's all right. You're young, buddy. You still got time. But make sure she checks all them boxes.
Yes, no, for sure.
Jason's woman's so good. I'm on the backup plan in case something happens to Jason.
Never know.
In case, you know what I mean? In case he run off a cliff, I'm here for you, girl. You know what I'm saying? But what he said is absolutely true. But I'll tell you even more so than this. The love of a good woman can fix so many things in your life. A person that is your friend, that is of the opposite sex, that can provide you children, you can provide her children, you can split some money, build some equity, pump out some things, and have fun. Man, I tell you what, this girl right here, I said he's for the streets. Kelce's for the streets, but he got to come home because this woman's at home. She is a USS anchored statesmanship. She's not going nowhere. I don't care. Until the kids graduate, they go live in Keiko somewhere. She's not leaving Philadelphia, so he has to come home. So he's not leaving us. But she, more so than anything else, keeps him and kept him grounded because, like I said, when she went to the Super Bowl, she's like, look, I know he's your family. I love him. He's the uncle, all that stuff. She did all the speeches, all the things she talked about. But she's like, I can't wear Chief stuff, bro. Like I can't do it. Like, and that's real. That's like when you said about him being the everyday man and Harry said, everybody said it. He's not the guys who are like, you need to wear this because he's my family. My mom and dad are there. This is what we do. He's like, look, bro, I love you. If that's the best you can do, babe, I appreciate you coming out and pulling me back in the window and let me jump through a little thing. He jumped on the fire table today. I'm sure he didn't check with her about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, better to ask for forgiveness. But yeah, the love of a good woman, a good relationship could definitely get you right. Like I said, he was on his way out of town. And I know he said was stop and said he believed in him, but I think that whole date situation was right in the part. She's like, I ain't going to St. Louis. I can tell you that right now. I'm not going to New Orleans. Like, you better make it happen.
So to bring it full circle, I say, fuck the Brian Dawkins statue. Fuck the Jason Kelce statue. Let's get a Kylie Kelce statue. Put it in front of the link as the gatekeeper of like all the nonsense. Oh, you drunk, bare-chested bastards, behave yourself. Behave yourself on a Sunday, and that'll be the Kylie statue.
Put her in the Urban Dictionary. Get you one of these Johns.
Yeah.
This is the John you
John.
need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everybody want to know what a
John.
John is. This is the John. I was a little jealous and annoyed because Devin Caney has always had that Princess Diana Eagles jacket that she wears. And then when she got to wear it, I was like, no. They done put her in the jacket too. But she deserved it now.
Oh, yeah.
She deserved it. She earned it. And it's funny because, again, the city embraces certain things and we value certain things. And family is one of the biggest things.
Yes.
Family is one of the biggest things. Like, as much as when you go to games, you go to tailgate, you meet people, and you can find people there that you'll be lifelong friends with and talk to more than you might talk to a family member, and that you connect with, that you belong with, and the community. So as much as Philadelphia, the best thing about everything that he said, and I'm going to play one clip later on, but the best thing that he said was like, look, bro, they just want you to do good. They just want you to try. They just want you to have effort. And they know that you're not going to be perfect. And he had to deal with it. He talking about being a lifelong Eagle. He and Brandon Graham are the epitome of, I don't want to hear shit from any athlete in Philadelphia. Because again, he almost got run out of here. He almost got traded. Brandon Graham was a bust and had to block everybody on Twitter, and people were coming after him, and he had to get his ship right and get himself together. And once he got his play together, got himself together, his personality shined through. Because for somebody like him, I believe that just knowing him from his time being here, he's always been a positive, hey, I'm doing my best, I'm trying, don't worry about it, we're going to get it together kind of human being. But when it's not going well and everybody's attacking him, he's like, bro, I brought the sun with me and y'all just keep raining on me. Like, I'm trying to bring the sun, but you can't bring it until you play it well enough to like, all right, bro, I get your sunshine. It's raining, but at least the sun's coming through the clouds. I'll allow your joy, and now we accept his demeanor, his cadence, because he plowed through it. And that's all Philadelphia wants. That's all we care about. Right?
It's not hard to play in this city, and it's not hard to understand this city. So many people leave and are bitter and are pissed off. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was pissed off, and they talk bad about the city. There's no magic formula to it. There really isn't. There's no secret sauce. The unlocking the Rubik's Cube that is the complex Philadelphia sports fan. Not really. Ask the guys who are still talked about and beloved in the city. It's all a common thing. I was honest, I was accountable, and I played my dick off. And I hated to lose. And when you lose, and when we lost, I know it hurt you and it hurts me. That's all we want to see. So a human thread to it. That's it.
Yeah. So Allen Iverson, I brought up earlier, is getting a statue, and to what you said, it's not about getting hung up on the statue. It's more of a sadness that I watched someone give one of the greatest. Again, this man, Philadelphia loves speeches. If a DC villain wanted to come and take over Philadelphia, all they got to do is go downtown and give a good speech. Because we just destroy Nick Sirianni because he was stumbling, bumbling, and can't speak. We crush him because he doesn't know how to talk to people. Jason Kelce gives 2 speeches, and I guarantee you right now, he'd be front runner for president of the United States of America based on Philadelphia's voting schedule. Okay, so I mean, I understand how good he is, but that speech, every college kid going into college is going to any kind of athletic department needs to sit down and have to sit there and watch that 45 minutes and write me a 1-page essay. Anybody who's graduating, everybody who's graduating needs to watch that on their way out. If they're going to the pros, if they're going to a draft, if they're not going to a draft, they need to watch it twice. Because here's a guy, again, we've already talked about it here, and he's talked about it, 6th round, almost out of the league. I'm gonna do good here. Somebody who supports me, listen, learn, take accountability. That's something that, besides sports, that's how life works. If you're doing any job, You can have a bad day. I tell people all the time, I don't bust your balls at your job until you really fuck up, because everybody works for somebody. I don't need, you don't want to hear me mess with you about making fries. Everyone works for someone. And as he said, he had the joy of having one boss who was a great boss and someone who he loves and is family with, but it takes time to build up to that. So anything you do in life, they need to, like I said to have my daughter watch this, and she knows who, obviously she knows who sports are, but she was like, he is like making me fit. She's making my chest hurt because watching the tears go down his face and the way he was choking up, like she's like, yo, he's really crying. Like I think like the 15 minutes in, she's like, oh no, he's not. I was like, no, Lee, he is trying to keep it together. Because at first she's thinking, oh, you try to say something nice and I was like, oh no, he is like streams coming down his face. And when we got done watching it, I said, so what do you think about that? She's like, if I ever think about like when I'm playing, like she had a wrestling match last year where the whole team got decimated. Everybody got whooped. I think one kid won one match and she just hung her head. And when she was getting out of the car, she walks up to the door and I'm like, you sucked. And she's like, I know. And I'm like, Leah, everyone sucked today though. Every single one of you sucked. And she's like, if I would have watched this before that happened to me, I would have never felt that way. Because when I went out there on the mat, I lost, but I gave everything I had and I didn't quit. And she had wrestled a boy who was actually really good. And I mean, she got her butt whooped, but she didn't. The coach asked her, hey, you don't have to go out here and do this if you don't want to because he's a boy. You don't have to. But she did that. She's like, if I would have watched this before that, she's like, I wouldn't have beat that kid, but I feel like I could run through a wall right now. And she's like, that mentality should hopefully help her just in anything she does. So everybody should be watching this retirement thing. Like I said, this guy is a speech giver, and Philadephia is just ripe for the takeover. If anybody wants to take over Philadelphia, he's here for it.
What you said is brilliant. Like I would show young athletes, if I was their college head coach, or bringing in rookies of the NFL, they all have all these like bonding experiences, and they go out together and they learn NFL life. I would tell them that, hey, you're in the NFL now, or you're going to the NFL. There's going to be cars, there's going to be money, there's going to be houses, there's going to be parties, there's going to be glamour, there's going to be fame, there's going to be this. That's what you think your career is. If you are lucky, and I do mean lucky enough, and a lot of that is in your hands, watch this 45-minute speech of this guy. If you're lucky enough, that's what your career ends up being. You think it's this, but if you're lucky enough, listen to that man talk, and you will walk away from the game feeling just like that man did. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, yeah. Gritty.
I also love what you said about, real quick, just like the watching it before, the games and stuff. It reminded me of in high school, me and my friends, mostly on the baseball team. I probably took it with me to the other sports I played, but there's a video online of Ed Reed at Miami talking to his team before a game. He's like, I'm hurt, dog. Don't ask me if I'm all right. He's like, coach asked me to dominate. We're not doing it. And he just really hyped me up a lot going, looking back in the day. And I feel like, I don't necessarily, depending on the vibe you're looking for, you know what I mean? I think you either pick this retirement speech, or you pick, the Super Bowl speech, basically. He's got multiple speeches to motivate young men and young women and young, he's they, thems, whoever out there, just to make sure that they are mentally ready for it. But I saw in the chat there, sometimes you can, Kate said you can do everything right and still lose, right? But if you approach things with this mentality and go into it with that belief in yourself, you'll be able to come out of a loss ready to go on to the next thing, ready to believe in yourself for the next thing. So it goes beyond getting you to become a pro athlete or to become the best player on your team or the best player in the world. It's just a matter of becoming the best person you can be, and that'll translate right to the sport. So I think that's what Kelce, again, that's why he's so ingrained in the city and so beloved, because we are a city of people that feel like we try hard every day, right? Everyone in the city feels like they try hard, and they don't always get the success that they see out there in the world. But if you have this mentality, you can keep going and enjoy the small things in life, enjoy the victories you do have. And I don't know, I'm getting motivated right now just talking about this. It's really crazy.
Jason, you gonna take the kids out of soccer and go have them watch Jason Kelce?
Yeah, I'm gonna make them watch that speech before every game. They're 11. See how it goes for them. Right?
Hey.
I'll put in TikTok for them so they can.
Yeah, I was gonna say clip it. You gotta clip it.
You know who really needs to watch that video?
Who's that?
Russell Wilson.
Oh,
being authentic and being real.
So,
Like,
yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
so we're going to talk about Russell in a second. We're going to wrap up with Jason. I just want to play this clip and then talk about this real quick, and then we'll move on from it finally. But
in our minds before ever leaving the house. Games, but seated in a lawn.
by the way, I love the fact that his brother's sitting there balling like a baby.
Right.
His brother was balling like, and again, you know how it is. Like, I don't know, Jason, you have one brother, right?
Yes.
Sister?
Both.
So Harry's got a brother. Harry, you got a sister?
I got an older sister too. Yeah.
What's your sibling situation like?
I have 3 younger brothers, and that's why I connect with Jason and Travis, because the brothers are very different, and but we are incredibly close. I come from I'm lucky to have a very tight family.
And so when you have siblings and you it's just the thing of like, my daughter is an only child, and that's the one thing I feel bad about her for, not having that situation where you have built-in friendship and enemy. Like, you got a built-in relationship that you got to deal with growing up. And these two together, like I said, Jason Kelce has surpassed all things. People who are not a fan of the Eagles can quote some of his speeches. People are I've seen people who are fans of I saw Buffalo Bills fans sharing this out, because when he went up there and drank beers, fans of all nature are sharing this man's retirement and quotes and such. So his lore and what we talked about is just so great, but the family core of it is so dynamic, because he is the older brother and Travis is the corny brother that wished he was as cool as his older brother. Fight for your right to part. And I love him, you know what I mean? Goofball and all that stuff. But I mean, the big brother, little brother dynamic is so real. Like, it's like a sitcom with these two, and it's just so amazing. But I'm trying to get to where he's talking about what you got to
waiting
play
outside here. Afterward, or offering courage, it made me stronger. It's only too poetic. I found my career being fulfilled in the city of brotherly love. I knew that relationship all too well. Some people struggle to play in this city. They can't handle the booze, the media, or our fans. Consider it a great blessing to play in the most passionate sports town in America. The sense of urgency in this city to win has pushed our organization, has fueled it to take chances, fix problems, and work tirelessly in an effort to win. At times, you hate it as an athlete, especially those new to our city. But when you've been through it enough, you learn to appreciate it. No one celebrates their own like the city of Philadelphia. Athletes become demigods in this city, even ones whose deeds span decades before. The Eagles are the #1 ticket in town, the most talked about thing at nearly every moment. With that amount of attention, you better be ready to overcome the lows that will happen, and be ready to persevere in the face of the criticism. Yes, they will let you know when you are not performing well. Every time. But they will also love you if you show effort, aggression, desire, the will to fight. They will love you in this city if you love it the way you love your brother. You will be loved by going above and beyond to show that you care, because they care. They've been caring for generations in this town about this team, and they aren't about to accept a bunch of excuses and soft-ass nonsense representing the name on the front of the jersey, something they've invested their entire lives in. If you don't like what the fans and media are saying as a player, it's very easy. Love them, treat them like your brothers, and go out and play your balls off. Wear your heart on your sleeve, and I guarantee you change those narratives. I remember seeing Zach Ertz shy away from a block one game against Vontaze Burfict in the Cincinnati Bengals. Rightfully so, the fans ripped him apart, crushing him for doing it. The next week, the first catch I saw Zach Ertz snag, he ran after the catch like I had never seen. It took 3 guys to bring him down, and I heard the link erupt with cheers for his effort. Today, you won't find a single Philadelphian with a bad word to say about Zach Ertz and the legacy he left behind. As players, you write the narratives. The fans and media, for the most part, it's occasionally different, only write what you give them. If you go above and beyond in this city, you will be rewarded beyond your wildest dreams. I saw firsthand the wrath of the Eagles fans in the 2016 Eagles season. And rightfully so, I had an awful start to that season where I was often overpowered, had many holding penalties that cost our team, and looked like one of the worst centers in the league. I was wanted out of town by nearly everyone. And it wasn't just the fans that wanted me to gone. It was nearly everyone in this organization. That offseason, I heard trade rumors galore and speculation I'd be cut. I imagine if the Eagles had received a trade offer for a brand new set of washing machines, they may have pulled the trigger. Hell, if I was in charge, I would have pulled the trigger. There's only one person in this building who still wanted me, and it's he who I have to thank most for the career I've had. And that's Jeff Stoutland.
So I can let that go on forever because
Oh my God.
like, bro, like I said, like I cried one time over Philadelphia football, and it was when we won the Super Bowl, and I was with my buddy who lost his father, and I lost my father. We thought about our dads sitting up on the cloud watching the game while we were watching the game, and I cried like a baby. It is just, that's why I said it needs to be watched. It needs to be studied. It needs to be ingrained. That segment right there, you know, I tweeted out because it's just how you talk about trash to the Darius Slay comments that he had on that podcast the other day, and there were other players talking about how it is. This isn't a shot at him. This is a shot at anyone who wants to play in the Philadelphia lexicon. If you want to play here, it is hard. And again, when I don't want to overhype or underhype. Like he said he was overrated. He is properly rated. He is one of the greats. But even as he said, first half of my career, bro, I wasn't getting the job done. So that in itself is the part of the greatness to me. Like I don't need to come on here and say he was my favorite player from day one, because that's not true. He had a moment where he's like, look, somebody believes me. I turn it around. I got a good woman. I turn it around. And that's the other thing, besides the love of a good woman, shout out to all the teachers and the coaches that take time and give kids rides home from practice, pick kids up, you know, grab them an extra glove when they can't afford one, or throw a kid a bat and give a kid an extra ball, because some of these kids out here need someone to believe in them. Now, obviously, this is a grown man, is professional, but shout out to all those people that do take the time to help those people, because again, one person believing in you, one person giving you extra attention and extra time can change your life. The first half of his career, not so great. Good enough to be a starter in the NFL, which is better than most. But to have the end of his career be the way it is, now he is in the echelon of one of the greatest centers ever. You get to have that argument. You get to have that. And so, my goodness, Jason, like I said, we're sucker for speeches, bro. Like I said, if he was a DC villain, boy, I would burn down America right now if he wanted to lead the charge. So he's just an incredible human being that actually gets us. And you feel like it, as you said, you kept saying it, there is a difference, and I get it, but he's somebody who gets us. And my goodness, if you listen to him and you want to be great, you know what I mean? Like I said with Brandon Graham is the same way. Like once you figure out how to turn around and give your effort, hey, man, I'm sticking up for you. I mean, I'm going to bat for you.
And what was beautiful about that? Okay, we all heard it for the first time when he did it, right? We just watched it again. I'm sure we watched that little clip of it a couple times in between then and now. What was so fucking difficult? What was so hard to understand? This isn't a math formula. We're not inventing a rocket. This isn't brain surgery. This is just simplicity splayed out in front of you.
And he said it that way too, right? I mean, he definitely.
Yeah. There's nothing complex
Yeah.
at all about what he said. It was just honesty.
And his tone of voice was like you said. It's straightforward. You show effort, aggression. Will to fight, not even will to win, will to fight. I mean, that's so true. It's incredible. And the Just Allen thing, like real quick. I mean, just like you're talking about belief in somebody. I mean, I think we see it all the time with coaches, right? Coaches in the NFL and any league. If you can be great at X's and O's, and just still not know how to get through to players and things like that. I think in the NFL, maybe more than any other league, guys can be great at scheme and not know how to translate maybe a team chemistry or a team roster. And, I think back to my greatest coaches in life were not at the highest levels. It was my dad. It was people that just believed in me and believed in my teammates who also didn't have maybe backgrounds in sports. If people are just like, you know what, I'm here with you and I'm here to compete with you and I'm going to have your back, which is what Stoutland had for Jason, which is what Jason had for his teammates and what he had for the city. I mean, it's just like, it's such a connection. And even like E-Rock said, watch that however many times today already. And still I'm sitting here like, man, I could tear up just watching this if it keeps going. It's just that incredible.
And he said he sucked.
Yeah.
He said I wasn't playing well. Like it is what it is. Nobody's above criticism. Like my favorite thing, like when people say, oh, you just call in to say whatever you want to say about it. I was like, because everybody's in that business. Like I said, everybody works for somebody. I make my podcast. I make my stupid videos. And half the time, I'm saying something somebody disagrees with. The other half of the time, I get reminded I'm overweight. I got a gap tooth, and my eye gets sleepy sometimes. And I'm like, look, I'm up late. You know what I mean? I had a little drink. You know what I mean? Don't worry about my but sometimes I got to eat that because I am fat, and I do have a gap tooth. Like, there's certain, like, hey, look, see the movies, these is mine. Criticism comes, and you have to take it. Like, I'm not going to stop being myself because somebody's making fun of me or saying something about me because I know who I am. I know that not everybody's going to agree with me. I know I'm not always going to be right. Somebody's like, oh, you wasn't cooking today. I'm like, bro, I wasn't even chefing it up. I'm just making an opinion. But I'm in the business now and I always got to be cooking. You know what I mean? I always say something that's got to be crazy. I'm like, sometimes I just want to have a conversation with people. But when he says what he says and takes accountability, that's all that matters. Like I said, like when I make my videos and I'm talking trash and I talk about another team, the D-Bags, Diamondbacks, when we lost, I did not make a, hey, congratulations, y'all won video, because guess what? Y'all won, we lost. I got to come back out here and take accountability for all that trash talking I was doing. That's my lexicon in the arena I'm in. And Jason Kelce has always been like, yo, we sucked. When he's on the sideline, he's angry. Like when they had that field goal for going to overtime Buffalo, the one video I put up was just him and Jalen Hurts. Livid. It's got 2 million views. And all I said was they're mad because they knew they should have had a touchdown on that drive. They don't want overtime. They're not mad because, oh, they got to have a kicker and kick the ball. No, they're mad because they didn't execute when they knew they had the opportunity to score. That is two guys who want to win. By the way, did anybody see that article where they said that Jason Kelce, no wonder he wants to retire. He's had 9 straight years of dealing with
Marcus Hayes.
Of course, it was Marcus Hayes. Did you see that, E? Did you see that article?
No, I didn't. What was it?
So,
he basically was talking about how Kelce had to deal with petulant quarterbacks for the last 9 years, referring to Wentz and Hurts, and he's had to carry them through because they're not mature enough to lead the team. Was kind of the gist of the story.
Well, good. Jason around. That was almost perfect. I'm gonna read it verbatim. That was almost like what he said. Kelce told me that this season, for the first time, his body is still tired and sore on Wednesdays. He seemed mentally fatigued too. After all, he's been playing nursemaid to 2 young, insecure quarterbacks for the past 9 years. 9 years. Think about that. Now, the thing that makes me sick about this, before I let you say something, E, he started it off with a direct quote from Kelce, and then morphed it into he seemed mentally fatigued too. That's now you're in speculation mode. And then you go into he played nursemaid to 2 young, insecure quarterbacks for the past 9 years. And this is why athletes don't want to fucking talk to the media. So I don't know. You didn't see that. It was disgusting.
I mean, Marcus, I'm not going to say, bad things
Yeah,
about Mark.
Yeah, you don't have to be comparison to him. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I mean, what is said about him is already out there. I
Yeah.
don't have to repeat it. I would just be regurgitating somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
But I disagree. I think it's shady the way he phrased it. And you put a direct quote and you followed it up with, after all, he's been. No, that's an opinion. You're following up a direct quote with an opinion and trying to disguise it as almost disguise it as a direct quote. And I don't appreciate that kind of writing. Second, I mean, you heard Jason talk about how much of a leader he really loved Jason or Jalen.
Yeah.
He really loves Jalen, and he was boys with Carson for all his flaws. But I think he's willing to. I don't think it's babysitting. I think it's just football players are human. They're flawed. I mean, that's part of the human condition, is being flawed and taking things personal and having to help, one of the younger guys out and stuff like that. So I can't.
It's also just
to
sports.
say your body's
exactly.
sore on Wednesday and then related to like baby quarterbacks. Where the hell are you going with this?
It's just veteran leadership. That's all he was displaying with young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing there. It's the center for the team,
Yeah, as his job as the
Like
signal
you
caller.
said, it's sports,
They're
like you said.
tandem. They're a squid mind. Like they work together. They go hand in hand. And so again, that's the things like that kill people with the media.
Yeah.
So we're gonna circle back one last time to Jason. We got like 15 minutes. I want to keep the show tight tonight. Jason, Zach Wheeler got a new deal. $126 million, 3-year extension. Is that a good deal or is that not a good deal?
It's definitely a good deal. He's been the best pitcher we've had on this team since Roy Halladay. And if you really look at the stats, possibly even slightly better than Roy Halladay.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're right. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
That's a good deal.
It was a deal they had to do right now. There's no other starting pitchers they were going to be able to get. They don't want to pay the guys that are currently out there, and they're not worth that money either. So you had to re-up with Wheeler.
So I know this is way out of his wheelhouse. I'm gonna ask him anyway. E-Rock, all right. So Bryce Harper, one of the only other kids to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated to come through and actually be who he's supposed to be. He wants more money. Should we get more money? Even though he's kind of contract and ain't got no trade clause. Does he deserve his attention?
I'm not pocket watching. You go get your money. However, I do think he misplayed his hand here.
Oh yeah.
Like listen, there's other ways to go about it. Keep it behind closed doors. Yes. The Philadelphia fan, again. Let's all watch the friggin' speech again. And this is a mandatory requirement. There will be an exam at the end. You are required to recite this verbatim all 45 minutes. Philadelphia won a
statue.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, if he wins the World Series,
he's getting it. Yes.
Yeah. The Philadelphia fan does not want to hear about any of that, and we love you, but every once in a while, it's like a kid. You love them, but every once in a while, you got to check them. You got to check.
Yeah.
Nah, we're not doing that.
We can't afford it anyway. We lost Dollar Dog Night to afford Zach Wheeler, so we can't afford it.
And to that point, I'll say again, today, all I keep hearing people tell me is, he got us a Super Bowl. And I'm like, the center? So, Bryce, you want more money? Go get the championship parade. I'll give you whatever you want. I'm broke. I'll give you what I got. You know what I mean? I'll sell Jason right now and have Harry cutting your grass. I don't know. He's a little busy, but I had these guys out there working for you about the weekend, baby. You know what I'm saying? So go out there and give me a championship, Bryce, and then we can talk. But that is a great deal with Wheeler, and I'm happy because we could wheel and deal. We got Nola done. So two thoroughbreds and actually go out there and work and earn their money. And whether they're up or down, they're out there earning their money. Then I want to talk about my goat of goats. LeBron James has 40,000 points in basketball, and it's one of those things now. It's like I don't even care, but I just want to bring it up because we're talking about greatness and being legendary. Because at 40,000 points, he's going to end with probably like 45, 43.
Yeah, around there, I think.
Wilt Chamberlain had the scoring title for 27 years. Then Kareem came and had it for 39 years. I don't know what kind of human being can play basketball for 25 years, average 27 points, or even want to do it. Like, they asked Luka, because right now LeBron James is the fastest person to every scoring milestone. 1,002, 10, 20, 30, you get the point. And he's also the oldest to every milestone now, 35, 39, 40. So he's on both lexicons on both sides. They asked Luka because he's like second now and points and everything like that. And he's like, yeah, I'm not playing that long.
Luka's on my workout.
Not to hate, but he's the youngest. He's not the fastest. He's the youngest.
Oh yeah.
MJ's the fastest.
Yeah. Sorry. I apologize. But youngest. That's what I'm saying. Because Luka's got the youth and the speed. He's the only one that can catch up to him essentially by the way he's piling up numbers.
Yeah.
But Luka's like, I'm not gonna. It's like, bro, like what? 12 more years? 10 maybe?
If they pay him $100 million when he's 35, I bet he will play more. So I was just saying these contracts are crazy. That keeps people around. LeBron knows his next contract is about to be insane for a few years. Like that's helpful to contribute to him staying around. Let's be real. Like that's part of it.
So he's got 40,000, 11,000, and
10,000. Yep.
He's got a triple double career, and he's like top 5 in everything: steals, assists. Like the numbers are just gaudy and insane at this point. But like I said, well, I'll talk about that again later on when he gets to 45,000 and
oh my god.
So I don't know if you know anything about this. Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison are one of the 2 top prospects that do not have an agent. Now I'm going to give you an example of one guy who is a legacy kid, Marvin Harrison Jr. His reason for not having an agent is I'm going to go in the first round. My salary is capped. If I go at number 4 or number 7, there's a number that I am guaranteed to get. I can't get more than that. I can't get less than that. This is my number. Why have an agent to give that money away? The only thing I have to negotiate is my 5th-year option, and at which point I'll get an agent if I need one, or I'll have my dad do it. That sounds like a smart thing, Marvin Harrison Jr. Sounds like your dad played in the league. Now, Caleb Williams didn't want to throw at the combine. He's not letting anybody see his medicals. And his daddy has interviewed 32 agents, and all of them keep telling him, well, what you want to do, sir, can't be done. His dad wants them to circumvent that cap that I told you and get his son a record rookie deal like Ryan Leaf used to get when they used to give guys $200 million.
Oh, Jesus.
And since the rules of the NFL, the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement say that he can't do that, he doesn't have an agent. Which one do you think seems more credible as a bust or as a prospect?
If there was ever a red flag, but the guy's just so talented. I mean, I don't disagree with guys who want to go it on their own and not have an agent in the traditional sense per se, but you definitely want you can hire an agent to go over a contract or build up a like the actual contract itself, that's where the agent gets his money, but there's so much more that goes into being an agent than just that contract. If he's just looking to save himself, pretty hefty. Yeah, a pretty hefty chunk of change. You can go and just hire an agent for the week to draft up the documents. I mean, a lot of this stuff is boilerplate especially on a rookie deal, until you get to that second go around where you could have a great agent that gets you that bag. You could have an agent like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson who completely misplays the hand, and then you end up getting a 1-year deal for well below market value. So that's when it becomes important to have a good agent.
Donnie DeVito's agent's price out there. Is it Tommy DeVito's agent? Tommy DeVito's agent's out there. Get that positive. Man, I tell you what. Also, since we're giving out advice, strike while the iron is hot. My man had 2 weeks of prime real estate, and he had a Ragu ad. His mom was out there making cutlets. Like the whole family got a little check. Like, ooh, you better strike while the iron is hot, because here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
He was out of here, boy. But it was Cutlet City for like a good 3 weeks in America. By
the way, I'm from North Jersey. I live in northern New Jersey. Don't downplay the chicken cut. Like, there's some of the best sandwiches. There's a sandwich place here that makes a chicken cutlet with a balsamic.
We're in Philly, bro.
Prosciutto. No, I'm talking about it's different. North Jersey does the cutlets a little different than Philadelphia.
I was not disparaging.
I'm into it. You described that very well.
Yeah. The top player of this show is Rotan, and we are on the cutlets. Harry is a foodosaurus. You know
I love all
he
cutlets.
like he eats more than all of us. He's just out here shredded. So, we out here fat boys. We know about the cutlets. I'm just saying, strike while the iron is hot. Oh,
I heard prosciutto. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm coming up to North Jersey. Okay.
With the red peppers.
Yeah.
Now damn. Hey, invite us up for the family.
Yo.
Up there. Sit down. We'll have a Sunday.
That's what I need. Yeah. You call it sauce or gravy in Northern Jersey? Sauce or gravy?
Don't let
South
Philly.
I'm from South Philly, so it's not even. Trust me. I've been rolling my eyes at them my whole entire life.
There's nothing more annoying than a fucking. Hey, it's gravy. It's not.
Listen, I can't say it like that because I got too many people in South Philly that'll come after me. But you're definitely listen. I agree, sauce.
So
for sure.
I'll tell you one of the best stories in my life. Dating a girl, South Philly. Her, I cook and make food, whatever. She was telling her mom about the gravy that I make. Now I made gravy. And it was a fucking problem.
Oh,
and I'm like, bro,
for real.
I don't think they were gonna like you though.
No, that makes.
Wait, they asked you to make the gravy, and you brought like turkey gravy.
He brought some brown gravy.
I brought brown gravy. I made.
To South Philly.
Oh,
I know they were mad. Trust me.
When she said it, I asked like 3 times because my meatballs are I got my recipe from Italian grandma. I make great meatballs. Now, one of the things I do when I get tired of eating spaghetti, I have the meatballs and I'll make brown sauce or I'll make gravy and I'll make mashed potatoes. And we have like a meatloaf kind of thing. And I had made that for her. And so when she said it to me, I'm like, why would they want that? And I'm thinking maybe they want to try something different. So I made meatballs with gravy because she told me it was gravy. And not for nothing, everybody ate it and they thought it was good, but it was a fucking problem.
Yeah, it's too much of a principle.
They were talking shit to my face. It was
oh my God.
Like it was
I learned what gravy was when I was like 11, and all my friends who were also 11 were like treating me the same way. I'm like, yo, listen, I've been on this earth for a very short amount of time. Like,
at least I made it out alive to tell the story, but it was a rough 10, 15 minutes.
It must have been good.
I'm embarrassed for you.
I asked her like 3 times.
Hey, yo, that's on her.
Why would they want gravy? Like, you want sauce like spaghetti? And she's like, no, the gravy. And I'm like, all right.
Oh man,
America,
South Philly Italian, man, they were talking shit about you. You were getting trashed.
They tell that story every year.
Polite, yeah.
I guarantee you.
Remember what that dude brought? Like we told him
Sunday dinner.
Yeah, I'm making you a statue.
I guarantee you they're still talking about me every time it comes up. I'm sure they still talk about
that gravy that time. What the
fuck? Anyway, I got 2 more stories to finish up.
Yeah.
I ratted myself out. So, the newest Manning to the team doesn't want to be in the college football 2025. College football games finally coming back, and we can't have a Manning in it because of, I assume, branding. He said he wants to focus on football and becoming a starting quarterback. But my gosh, EA Sports is in the game.
Yep.
What's your name in the game?
They don't want a 71 overall. They don't want a 71 overall in his next to his name. That's what it is.
He doesn't have to play every time we load the game.
I saw someone say, like, they said take the $500 and go away because he's not making that much money off of it.
No, and again, he's making he made 3rd most and didn't play last year.
Right.
So I mean, it's not about the money, but that's what I'm saying. It's about the brand because he heaven forbid he has a 71 or a 69 because he's starting out. Like I'm like I know and you're the ugliest Manning. Like I just wanted to have your goofy little face out there with your name on the back. So I can reminisce when I was playing with your uncles and in the game. That's all we want.
Arch.
Yeah, just
oh my God. Switch him to wide receiver in the game, and then it'll be better.
That's how you don't become a legend.
That's right.
Yes.
So Russell Wilson got cut. Largest dead cap hit in American history. $85 million.
God damn.
That is so much money. Shout out to our boy Mike Tanner. He has a good article up about this. And I just brought it up because that organization is what I don't want to be. There's a lot of lazy comments going on in the world right now. Poverty organization. You don't want to be a poverty organization. You brought Russell in. You gave up the farm for the guy. You gave him a rookie coach that didn't know what he was doing. They went 0-5. Then you bring in Peyton. They go 0-5 again. And then he brings you back with 5 out of 7 victories. You beat the Kansas City Chiefs for the first time in like 8 years. You're whooping the Raiders, like you're beating teams. And then you tell him that he has to sign away part of his contract so in case he gets injured. And then you bench him, and then you lose games because you don't play him, and then you blame him for the losses after he was winning you games. I'm not saying he's the end-all, be-all. I'm not saying he's the greatest quarterback that ever lived. But a Super Bowl winning quarterback who is functional, let's ride. He's always got the pom-poms up. He's a good ambassador for the sport and for your team. And the way that they're treating this guy, it angers me. It makes me upset. I know I shouldn't care. It's not our thing. But
I just don't get it, man. What's going on? I mean, it's like he did so well. What is their goal? Is their goal to recoup like that they already saw it as a sunk cost deal with what they gave up, and they're just like, let's start over? I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I thought they were trying to win when they got him, and they were winning last year, so I don't get it.
And they act like they're going to win by doing this, and I don't think that they're going to win.
If that's what they're acting like, that's oh my god, that's how you know some people just get the job because they know somebody. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with that organization, but
so
free Russ. He is free, I guess. He can go wherever he wants.
Sean Payton's an asshole.
Yes.
So overrated.
Yes.
Russell Wilson is a different kind of asshole.
Yeah.
So this is what happens when you've got an asshole on each end.
I feel that.
And it's just not going to work. So at some point you got to cut bait. You got to do something. And like if you got to fall on the sword. But I'll tell you, if you're going to release Russell Wilson, heads have got to roll within the organization that set this absolute atrocity, like set this forth in front of the owner of the Broncos. Like you can't just Russell's the fall guy because he's an asshole because he's weird and he's just to himself and
he's a cornball. That's really his
he's a cornball. And then you've got Sean Payton, who's more your traditional asshole.
Yeah. Is Elway still there? Elway's still running things, right? I mean, he must like Sean Payton or something.
Now
right. I thought something like that happened. So now I don't know.
When you brought in Payton, Elway stepped down. And to your point, besides bringing up the human centipede there, E-Rock, I appreciate it. asshole to asshole, you know what I mean? Like, golly, it's a family program. But at the end of the day, it's like you're trying to build something. You knew what you had there. Just deal with it and try to work through it. But now I'm like, again, dumpster fire. I'm tired of these legacy guys living off of one championship.
Yep.
Sean Payton is like the
Doc Rivers.
Like, dude, you had one shiny moment. You had Drew Brees. You had one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. You only got one, but you walk around with your chest pumped out saying, oh, I would have done this. I would have done that. I would have done this. I'm like, okay, whatever. And thank goodness that Howie Roseman didn't get the opportunity because he didn't want to come here because he came here to get a little fake cheesesteak. But they were trying to get dangerous. They was trying to get dangerous.
Oh my god! Yeah, dude, I remember that. I wanted him.
Yep. My bad. Me too.
Yeah, I wanted him.
Dangerous had us on that list, and I was like, "Oh, but and the only reason I didn't want him because he's a cornball. I didn't want the whole. Let's ride. Let's fly. Eagles.
Oh god.
I would have. I would have paused my fandom for like a week or a year. I don't know how long it took.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to take that. So
unless Sierra was around, if Sierra was coming around, I'd be into it. You know what I'm saying?
Could you imagine the booze? Could you imagine? Like I want to imagine Seattle's like, they don't really boo. They're loud, yeah, albeit stadium makes it loud.
Wind tunnel, yeah.
That's what you're known for. Okay, that's great. Denver, it's kind of a middle of the country. I don't think they. But could you imagine if he was playing like that here? It would be a massacre, bro.
Sirianni plus him in the cornballness if they ever kind of like line up every time.
Oh my god! If you said the Flowers thing, we had Russ. This guy came out with a flower pot T-shirt on, a headband, He would have been all water with a water kettle. He would have came in all decked out.
He just said rents due. Oh, I mean, oops. Like,
Uh,
Oh
So-
my god.
I just want to bring it around to close it out. So you go to a lot of games, like all the games, like I used to in my younger days. I'm too old now. I can't handle it. There's too much stress and pressure in my life. But we do boo very quickly out here. But I feel like, honestly, it's a deserved booing system.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Sometimes you get people that are drunk and, you're just one time you're like, man, we're only down 3. But it's how you got down 3. And they're going to be ready to cheer for you when you come back out. But they're letting you know that drive was not a great drive. Do you think that is a bad thing for us as fans, or is it acceptable at this point? Like, how do you feel about that?
I wouldn't have it any other way. First of all, like the in-stadium crowd, there's an etiquette. An unwarranted boo will never catch on. You might hear one person boo or this person scream, "You suck." That's a one-off. When there is a collective boo, is because we didn't all conspire. We didn't say, "Hey, should we do it now? You want to boo now? Should we boo it? If I do it, are you going to do it?" Well, as long as the other row's going to do it. No, it's all unanimous and at the same time, because Philadelphia Eagles fans know what they're watching. There's a reason why they call it most passionate, but we're also the most intelligent fan base because we know what we're seeing in front of us. And we know when you're giving effort, and we can spot a phony when you're not. And so, there's never, I can't remember a boo that I was like, that was really just an unwarranted boo. That boo was out of line, because if it was out of line, it would have never caught on and they would have never booed.
Yeah.
So I
Well said.
love my people, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't have them any other way.
Jason, do you have any last comments about the Kelce retirement and how you cried last night like a baby?
I didn't cry. I celebrated, man. It was an honor to watch Kelce play.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
How about you, Harry?
Man, just to kind of tie, what E-Rock just said with Kelce, I, growing up, knowing Philly as the city of brotherly love, right? You kind of have this perception sometimes, at least, based on how my mom wanted me and my brother to love each other. Just love, don't fight, that sort of thing. You think, like, are we really the city of brotherly love? But the way Kelce laid it out with, like, brotherly love is being like, you're a fucking idiot if you mess up. Like, that's what a brother does. And a brother also, as soon as you get it right, is your biggest fan and supports you and loves you so much. So the way E-Rock just broke it down, celebrating Jason Kelce, I agree. But the way he broke it down with the fandom here, it is brotherly love all throughout. We'll let you know when you know. But man, I'm just proud of it. This is like a reminiscing moment, I feel like, and I'm just proud of the city, and I'm proud of Jason, and I'm excited to see what he has to do next. And I saw someone post earlier they want to see our Bourdain version show where he's traveling around doing tailgates at different places. I'd watch that show every week.
Any last parting notes for I wrap it up there, E?
I will reiterate once again, gentlemen, if you learn nothing from this podcast, viewing audience and listening audience, go get yourself a Kylie. I mean, if you were fortunate enough, go get yourself a Kylie. If you were fortunate enough as a man to woman, if you were fortunate enough as a man to a player, watch the Jason Kelce speech as you suggested, Black Gritty, and think about what your career is now and what you are now. And if you were fortunate enough, that's where you will be when it's all said and done. And I will wrap up with this. And I know it was a very sombering and sad day to hear Jason announce his retirement, but don't feel sad because it's over. Feel grateful, thankful, and happy that you were a part of it with him.
And I am happy. Like I said, I'm happy that he's off bobblehead night, Cleveland Cavaliers on TV every single night, partying it up, living La Vida Loca. I mean, my goodness, we all said he had to go home to the wife and kids, and she's like, "Get out of the house. I don't want you here every day anyway." And so, if I lost you on the IG feed, it only lets us go for an hour. I apologize. If you stayed this long, on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify, the show's out there. Hit subscribe, leave a comment, share something. I appreciate you for staying this long. A lot of views tonight. Everybody's on this cousin day. I might just do a Kelce cast every week until I burn out because that's how much love this man garners and attention. And so besides the fact of getting yourself a woman like that, how about we start raising some women like that? I told you in this episode about how I teach my daughter Philly first, fuck everybody else mentality, and just the fact that sometimes you have to care about things and realize that people will care about you when you put in that kind of effort. I tell my daughter all the time, I don't expect you to be Michael Jordan, but I expect you to give practice and effort like you were. And I don't even like Michael Jordan, but I know he was a person who put forth great effort. I should change that to Kobe Bryant right now because I realize I hate Michael Jordan.
I mean, come on now.
Again, I don't need her to be Jordan. I don't need her to be a degenerate gambler and then go out there and be a fake goat or anything like that. So shoot.
God damn, dude.
Go out there and practice hard and do the best you can. So let's raise more young women like this and young men like the Kelce and just family unit, be together. The brotherly love thing is so real because it's not family. I don't get to choose my family. You know what I mean? In Philly, when you're an Eagles fan, I don't get to. We're just together. We're born into this, bro. I can't get rid of you. You can't get rid of me. It is what it is, and that's what family is, and that's what the brotherly love is. That is the holding each other accountable, loving each other unconditionally, and taking care of one another. And it's us versus everybody, always and forever. And especially if you're a Cowboy or a 49er, because all your success is on VHS and you can go fuck yourself. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody. Go Birds.